there's one for me. It's not a very big meeting. I don't know how big meetings are, but we're not big. But I know that someone had questioned, when I first was recorded, I think there was some ripples within our meeting, like, well, doesn't everyone get recorded? Because we all have our ministries. Someone plays the piano, someone goes out and tends to organic gardening. I mean, there's other wonderful ministries going on out there. And that was one thing that it wasn't big, but it was there. And the other thing was then now I was seeing I was the recorded minister for the meeting, but I'm not the meeting's recorded minister. And so people would look at me like I was supposed to have some new power in the meeting. I was like, that's not what we said, folks. I mean, you were sending me out. This is my work is out here. I'm not an authority within the meeting. I have pushed back against certain roles within the meeting. So I've been asked for many years to be on pastoral care. And my point was, I do that every day of the week. I really don't want to take care of the meeting. I don't want to be seen as that person. But after many years of pushing back, I did last year say, okay, I think there's been enough space made so we know our roles now, and I'm okay with being on the pastoral care committee, but not seen as the minister of the community. And actually, the biggest job I do in the meeting has nothing to do with what you would think I would do. I'm the treasurer. So I get to pray for the money and the assets of the community. That's my task.
Pat's question was an interesting one. And I wonder if a representative, like if you've got multiple people in your same meeting here, pick one of you. And by a show of hands, excuse me, 6, this would be 6, right? How many of your meetings, and if it's none, hold up, have an opportunity to support a ministry in the kind of way that we've heard about?
An opportunity or
are presently actively doing that. So media says none, and hold up the number of fingers.
Like the number of ministries.
But if you're
The
both
number
in
of
the same
ministries.
meeting, just one person in the meeting, right?
Yeah, right. So we've got a few people
But we might not know too. There's people.
who have number of meetings, ministries in their meeting that are being supported, and many that aren't. And we heard the request about what if everybody wanted one? And I think later when we get into this meeting support piece, we might hear a little bit about what Central Philly's experience was. And I don't know, Ted, have you ever experienced anything like spiritual jealousy? Not you necessarily, but maybe others. And I would ask that of anybody else here.
I have spoken to friends who see what I'm. So it's not just the Presbyterians in the world, but other Quakers say what you're doing is pretty unique and special. And so there was one friend who was, kind of jealous of. I don't know, maybe not jealousy is the deepest word for it, but sees this as something unique. And I do value it, and I think it is special. And again, I'm very aware of the context that, I'm working in this as a chaplain, so there's already this kind of framework around certain things that helped make this happen. But I think we can learn and borrow from that framework for all of our different ministries. It doesn't have to be professional chaplaincy. Right. To help our meetings help us.
And one of the pieces that I heard you say that I think is really very powerful for all of this is that the care is for both the minister and the ministry. And the ministry is so much bigger than the minister.
Yeah. I think that was transformative for me, is when I realized that, these people loving on me wasn't about, it's me, but it's really for what I am doing. But there is something special going on in the world, and for Yardley to feel like they have this place in it that's helping to heal this one small part of our planet in a special way, I think that's powerful. So.
Great.
I know we're gonna go into this when we get to the next session, but it is not unique. What's happening with you, it's happening all over the country,
Good.
and I think what we're here is to learn more about that so it can happen in more places and not be believed to be unique.
Great.